We have a special segment today focusing on 3D printing tissues because we decided to go along the science route. We have a few experts in the field coming onto our show today, and right now we're shooting live from Georgia Tech in Atlanta. At the end of our show today, we also have a special musical guest star, Sam, who's going to perform our hit new single. Please welcome our first guest, Dr. Andrea Murphy. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Diane. How are you?
Good, thanks for asking. So can you tell me a little bit about your research?
Sure. I do research in 3D printed skin tissues, and before I go into my research, let me talk a little bit about the skin. So the skin is the body's largest organ, and because it has such large surface area and it's directly in contact with its environment, it's easy for the skin to get damaged. And right now our treatment for large wounds or burns is to graft skin. It's been harvested from a different part on the patient's body or from another source, such as a different patient or an animal even. But that can cause complications because if it's a donor tissue, it can be rejected, and it can also cause more harm to the patient if you're taking a large chunk of skin from a different part of their body.
Skin grafting sounds kind of painful.
It is kind of a painful process, so my research works on 3D printing skin that can then be grafted onto the patient without having to harvest it from somewhere else.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the process of how 3D printing skin works?
Sure, it's very similar to the process of 3D printing something out of plastic or even printing with ink, but instead of using plastic or ink, you use skin cells. And as you can see in this image, that there's a layer by layer assembly and the different types of cells that go down are different, correspond to the different kinds of layers of skin that you have. So, for example, you might have a couple layers of collagen layered with fibroblasts and more collagen, and you go up and up and up until you hit the epidermis, where you'll have keratinocytes, which will help the skin to form. It's very similar to the regular 3D printing process.
So with this process, do you think you're going to run into any challenges?
So there are some challenges in printing. Right now we can't actually print onto a patient's body. You have to print the skin and then graft it on the patient. However, researchers at Wake Forest University are looking at a method where you could actually 3D print the skin on the patient. That because we don't have a method that accounts for wounds that are of a different depth, so for example, the large wound might be very deep in the center but only have the epidermis damaged in other areas. So with this process at Wake Forest, use a laser to scan over and measure the depth of the wound, and then the different layers of skin are deposited accordingly. This really cool clip shows how this process works.
Well, thank you for coming on to my show this morning.
Thank you for having me, Diane. It was really great to be here.
We have another guest coming up after this. Her name is Dr. Karen Verma. She's the creator of the Bionic Ear. We'll come right after this short break. So our next guest is Dr. Karen Verma, and she's the creator of the legendary Bionic Ear. How are you doing today?
Hi Diane, I'm doing great, thanks. I'm excited to be here.
So can you tell me what the Bionic Ear actually is?
So the Bionic Ear is a 3D printed biomimetic organ that integrates an electronic coil antenna that's connected to a cochlear-shaped electrode that can hear and transmit sounds. Biology has done a fantastic job of creating a geometry that can focus sounds into the ear canal. But due to its spatial complexity, it's really difficult to replicate using traditional tissue engineering techniques. So what we've done is we've used a syringe extrusion-based fab-at-home 3D printer to print an alginate hydrogel that's seeded with chondrocytes. These chondrocytes then degrade the alginate matrix and replace it with their own ECM over time.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So how does this Bionic Ear hear things?
It uses a circular coil antenna that's printed into the ear at the same time that the ear is printed. So the coil is made of silicon that is then made conductive by infusing it with silver nanoparticles. We measure the self-inductances and intrinsic resistances of this coil antenna using a Stanford Research Systems 785 dynamic signal analyzer. It's a mouthful, but basically we just measure what happens in this, this conductive coil antenna, and that produces a sound.
So do you see this product hitting the market anytime soon?
No, we're definitely still in the research phase. However, there's a lot of great research going into this, and we still have to connect the sounds that the ear produces meaningfully to the brain. But I think in 10 years or so, we'll be able to see a lot more practical application for technology such as this.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Thank you for coming on to my show.
Thank you for having me.
So up next, after our short break, we're gonna have our fellow scientists John and George. We're also gonna change a little bit of the scenery because we're just gonna move on to one of these underground labs at Georgia Tech. So we'll come back after the short break. So right now we're in the basement of the Biomedical Engineering Department at Georgia Tech. We're about to enter our lab where two fellow scientists, John and George, will be explaining to us about the 3D printing process with regards to cardiac tissue. So let's go have a look. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
So can you tell me how 3D printing works in terms of cardiac tissue?
Well, the first step is to acquire an image of the person's heart. This can be done through ECG or CMR. Then you segment and render the data from the image and put it into a CAD program. Printing materials are selected depending on what function models to play out. But because this technology is so new, it is only ever administered on patient-specific models that are used to diagnose the problem.
So what are the challenges associated with this process?
So one of the biggest problems with 3D printing organs is they have a tendency to collapse under their own weight. In terms of 3D printing for patients, the technology is in use as skin grafts for burn victims, but printing organs inserts a whole new set of problems. Though Carnegie Mellon has shown a promising method for printing hydrogels inside of other hydrogels, it's still unlikely this technology will be available in the next 10 years.
But how does the process actually work? Because you kind of talked about, I guess, modeling and like projection, but like what's the technical aspects behind it?
Well, in order to print a biological structure, a suitable bioink is first needed. This usually consists of a hydrogel structure acting as a support, which is then seeded with cells. One such bioink of interest is a gold nanorod incorporated gelatin methacryl hydrogel. Gold materials are easy to fabricate and not toxic to the body. In addition, studies have shown that gold's conductive properties promote electrical propagation between cardiomyocytes and cardiac fibroblasts. It helps the printed heart muscles contract. In one such study, a bioink was created by first coating gold nanorods with CTAB through a surfactant-assisted approach, and then employing special techniques to reduce the toxicity of the CTAB. Gel methacryl molecules were then coated into the CTAB bilayer, and the resulting structures were mixed with an alginate-free polymer in order to increase bioprintability. Cardiac cells were then loaded into the bioink, and the mixture was printed through a needle extrusion process.
Well, thank you guys for coming on to my show. Up next, we have our special musical guest star, Sam, performing her new hit single.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole tissue's here. Man, started with a burn, now we're here. Started with a burn, now we 3D print skin. Started with an ink made out of cells. Started from the cells, then it's printed on a substrate. Printing keeps it real from the jump. Making biomimetic organs like a human ear. You know ears can really transmit sound. Thanks to the hydrogel and a coil made out of silicone. Doctors, patients be like, where you at? Sorry, it's still in the research phase, so please be patient. Geometry of an ear is complicated, but after years of development, you'll be glad you waited, and we started from the bottom, now we're here.
Whoa, that was quite the interesting performance. Pretty educational. Well, that concludes our show for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day.